brought together stakeholders at Mobile World Congress to understand insights on how to scale up 5G beyond 1 billion consumer propositions. We heard that there are technology, supply, and data gaps and uncertainties in relation to demand, regulations, and operating models. This is, of course, transformational change that requires team building with clear rules, clear focus, and clear partnerships. And we are hoping over the next year that we will work with our stakeholders, ecosystem, and policymakers to deliver this transformational change.
Japan is deploying the national digital strategy called Digital Garden City Nation. This policy is not only for the MIC, but the whole Japanese governments are doing this together. And the MIC is dealing with the telecom aspect of this strategy. And this strategy aiming to revitalize rural areas, losing population by centralization, and to realize a sustainable economic society while making the most of the regional individualities. And this policy consists of 3 pillars, and these are deployment of digital infrastructure, and digital implementation to solve local issues, and effort to ensure that no one left behind. Various measures, including the allocation of additional frequency for 5G, and import obligation to establish base stations for carriers, and support by subsidies, and also providing tax exemptions, and promoting the infrastructure sharing among the various operators.
This is also happening here. So technology needs to mature, it needs to further develop so that we can really also reap those benefits. Now, technology is not the only thing which is keeping us back, of course. So what we call here a supply gap. You also see players struggle with the uncertainty regarding monetization, regarding the investments, whom should I partner with, hyperscalers, vendors, etc., from a perspective as a telco operators. All these questions are not trivial. And with all the uncertainty that is there, it's really hard to answer those questions. Third, we are also still at the beginning of the digitization process. So, we have even the most simple processes in some of the companies are not even using connectivity today. And that still has to change as well. And last but not least, regulation, public policy, of course, also plays a role. We have seen that incentives, these are some of the crucial questions that we often work on together with clients. So first of all, what is the role in the stack? What's your business model? What is your contribution and value add? Second, who are your partners? What ecosystems do you need to develop? Third, not only the partners, but also the clients. Working with the clients to co-develop those solutions is becoming more and more important. And then last but not least, the operating model is absolutely crucial.
Data is not sufficient for the developer. So Korea government set the policy like a digital dam and providing the public data first to the all developers as possibly as, and they design and they develop new type of services with the digital, with the 5G infrastructure. Regulation is always a problem. The digital services, new services, we've never been experienced so many times. So government regulation a little bit behind always compared to the new services. So this is how we solve that and how we make the a big ecosystem work together and try to change in life. So that's why the Bonto Global focusing on the global digital transformation.
I would like to say yes, I think 5G is ready. I think it struck me really this week that there is a lot of very concrete things on 5G, so that is for sure. Then I think there are some hurdles. I think probably one of the hurdles is, and it was mentioned, around the richness of the ecosystem. And then I think, and we have discussed quite a lot in France in different work groups with operators, vendors, industrials, and the ministry on how to really promote 5G for industries. And obviously one hurdle for the industrial player is that you have a functioning operation. It's extremely stressful to totally change your processes to maybe build it on 5G. So there is like a pretty good incentive to procrastinate and to maybe wait for a year. So that I think is reality. And and maybe in some cases the value add or the benefits are not super clear. And to get to your point, I think there are some areas where there are some lower hanging fruits where it's like obvious that, well, if I move now, I really see a benefit. And what we see, for example, from France, but also from elsewhere in Europe, is you would see it, for example, in fairly large industrial plants where you have outdoor coverage, because outdoor coverage with Wi-Fi is a nightmare for every engineer. So if you have a large plant, then you really see the benefit of 4G and 5G. Large industrial operations, whether a port, an airport, big steel plants. We have some interesting cases in France with ArcelorMittal, for example, or Airbus factories.
Our observation is that we're seeing very, very steady progress in adoption. And I think the anxiety probably arises from the desired speed at which adoption is happening, right? Everybody wants to see the hockey stick happening. I think it's one of those situations where when it happens, you'll probably know, but you'll probably know a little bit later. Logistics and warehousing is a great example where somebody like Amazon, is using technology and robotics and AGVs, to lethal effect in terms of changing the economics and the experience of goods logistics. A lot of the outdoor use cases that were mentioned are at play. Airports, oil rigs, precision agriculture is another one that is getting a lot of attention right now. That's probably one of the few examples where the government is actually coming in with incentives to support the formation of digitization in a specific industry.
Consumer 5G is an extremely hot product. People love it. People want more data, faster, more capacity, more speed. I think that's no doubt, and that will be really the success path for 5G in my perspective. When it comes to vertical integration, a lot of things are happening, but maybe they come more from the consumer side, and the capabilities that offer
is a bit more challenging. Where we in the B2B world are really excited. It's not about 5G, it's about hyper-connected networks. Hybrid, global, hyper-connected networks. It's not about technology bearer, it's about the global digital backbone that you can actually do stuff with. And you can start to have different conversations with customers, end customers, that move it beyond a SIM card and a broadband connection. And you start to talk to them about not just IT, which, Wi-Fi is pretty good at IT, so it's not just about IT. This is about OT. And you start talking about OT, operational technologies, you're starting to talk digital transformation. You're starting to talk about reprocessing factories, changing business processes. You're building a partner ecosystem to provide the CIO, CDO, the CEO a more complete solution. And that's a challenge. It's not about technology, it's about go-to-market. It's about identifying the right verticals at the right time in the right geos who get this digital transformation piece.
It is not about technology per se, it's about transforming industries, which cannot be done alone. So we talked a lot about partnerships, building ecosystems, how our policy can support. And one example stuck with me, which was from Korea about matchmaking, where first they tried to make a lot of data available, so many people can experiment, startups can experiment and start building use cases around. And they specifically take local startups, small ones, and try to match them either globally with other partners from other industries of regions, or locally to demand from people which might not be as prone to digitize their own business. But if someone comes and offers you, hey, let's try it out, they might actually do it.